Welcome back to Matterley Basin with a rather crooked Nathan Watson. Nathan, when are we going to see you back on the bike?
Well, I've had the all clear from the doctor, so it's just basically they've said whenever I feel up to it, I can get back on the bike. So it's still a little bit weak, you know, as you'd expect, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll start riding again.
Now, I know last year you made the move from a British team to a factory team in MXGP. Just describe how difficult that was and what challenges you faced.
Yeah, it was a really big step, as you can imagine, you know. I went from being the only MX1 rider on a team, you know, a British-based team, just doing British Championships, you know, it was just a fun time, not much pressure. You know, I was like at the top of my game in the British Championship, well, not in the British Championship, but yeah, I was, you know, one of the top riders and stepped into the MXGP, and obviously, you know, it was a massive step. The guys were a lot faster, it was a lot tougher, and obviously I felt more pressure riding for a factory team, but you know, I just tried to enjoy it and make the most of it, and yeah, it went really good.
And something you can make the most of is having a teammate like Max. Just how helpful is it to have him here and to learn from him? I mean, does he actually help you out at all? Yeah,
Max is great, you know. I learned so much from him because he's had so much experience over the years. He's been in the game for so long. Yeah, he's such a nice guy. He'll help me out anything I need, anything I want to know, you know.
Like, what advice would he give you?
Well, just how to prepare, you know, training and riding, and he don't have to actually explain stuff to me because I can just watch him, and you know, I learn a lot from just watching what he does. He's so focused on his job, and yeah, it's a real good teammate to have.
Max, with all your race wins, I've spoken to you more than any other rider in the paddock, but you always seem generally pleased to be there and thrilled to be interviewed. Is that the case?
Yeah, I like it because that's a bit paying off, you know, when you make good results, people start being interested in you. And when we said, like, in the winter it was all about Tony and Filippo, nobody was talking about me or us. So I always say that action speaks louder than words. And now I finally could make some good results and the people start asking. So it's nice, I like it, yeah.
Now, you mentioned results. I know in the past they haven't always been that great because you suffered a lot with illnesses, not just injuries, but illnesses. What gets you through that tough time?
Yeah, it's true, that was a difficult time. And it was for a couple of years. I had that illness, what I didn't know, it was about food. And I've been to so many doctors and going everywhere and asking if somebody can help me. Nobody could find any solution for it. And at once just simple house doctor, he said, make this kind of test, and for the food I make it, and they said, you're allergic about this food and this food, and that's what I was always eating during the weekend especially, and that was making me so tired always, and then I stopped it, and it makes me so much better now. And I could also learn a lot from it, that there's food like what sport people should eat, what is really healthy for your body, but if you're allergic about it, then yeah, you should not.
How's the bike changed? How's the bike different now to what the bike was like when you first put your leg over it?
It's a lot smaller. Like when I started, bike was really high for me because I'm a really small guy, and then we changed a lot to make it really low, and also my setting is quite special, so, and strong engine, what I really like, so the bike fits really perfect to me now.
Todd, top 10 in the World Championship, best Australian, but a rider with a totally different riding style from anyone else on the grid. So if you just pop on the bike and just show us what your natural position is.
The European style is hanging off the back of the bike a lot, standing on your toes and leaning right off the back of the bike and really letting the front end be light.
Yeah.
Coming from Australia, the tracks are a lot harder and not as rough because we don't have the 2-day format. So I've just grown up waiting over the front, coming out of the corners, pulling myself forward like in Supercross and stuff like this. So it's something that I am trying to adjust coming over here because I do find it difficult riding the sand tracks. I need to get over the back of the bike, but yeah, it seems to be working at the moment. But like you said, we're top 10, but I'm pushing. I want to be up near that top 5, so we're trying to make some changes, but it's good. So
those changes, would you say, is in your riding style then? Is it something that you're actively working on to change that?
Yeah, so the European tracks are so rough, and you tend to need to get off the back of the bike a little bit, so coming into the corners I find that being over the front, it weights the bike like this, and the front wants to dive, and you can crash. So If you watch the top guys like hurling in the sand, he's really off the back of the bike and really floating through all the corners. So.
But let's not forget, your GP career is only 11 races long, so you're pretty much a rookie still, aren't you?
Yeah, it is. Last year, unfortunately, we got injured, so that was my rookie year, and we only completed 4 GPs. So it's still early, and I'm continuously learning. Last weekend in Spain, we got some good starts. We had a bad one in the last moto coming down, but my starts are getting there, so I'm starting to smell the front, and yeah, it's time to go.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck for the rest of the season.